Hello, everybody. This is Greg29407 back with another episode of City Skylines. We're up here in this beautiful, beautiful park at the top of our nature preserve, looking out over the entire map. It looks gorgeous. There's our cable cars going down there. There's our helicopters up here. It's just gorgeous. Since our last episode, where we did all the nature preserve, been pretty busy. I came over here to the beach, and we now have all of our beachfront taken up. Look at this. I had this big swath of land right in here that's all empty, and I have created a new set of neighborhoods called Oasis Beach, and it's all the self-sufficient buildings, and it's a big long section. It goes from pretty much that monorail line, includes that monorail line, and a little bit to that one right there, and it's quite a bit of space. And I use some windy roads. I use the self-sufficient buildings again, and in fact, I even have a stretch of high rises for us. So we got quite a few people here. Oasis Beach has 8,300 people, and put those in fairly recently. They've been popping up, growing into level 2s already pretty well. It's looking really nice. I went ahead and just put in a couple bus lines here. Let's take a look. Yeah, so I've got the light blue bus line. This connects all of this half of the Oasis Beach, and it brings people over to right here. And there's a little walkway. They can walk up here to the street, and that's where this one is. And then the dark blue line over here takes care of this whole section of the neighborhood, drops people off right here. There's a little walkway to get to that monorail line. So everyone is very close to the monorail line. And we see some more houses going up. So they seem to be very happy with this. I've got 1,500 people. Sorry about that. 1,500 people riding the buses, 2,800 people on the monorail, 56 on ferries. That's kind of interesting. 105 on planes, and one per week on the cable car. Those numbers are always kind of low. So yes, that's going to be pretty good. I put in some rocks along here, some little rocky areas to make it look a little bit more natural, since this is the bottom of a volcano after all. It looks pretty neat up there. And as I said before, I don't think I'm going to build anything along in this area. I'm going to keep that more natural. We could, of course, fill this entire map up with stuff. We've got 90,000 residents right now. I'm not in any hurry to boost those numbers that much higher. I did put in some more fishing over here. This was all kind of rocky stuff, so I just went ahead and put a little road connecting all these fisheries. And it connects over here, goes over the rail lines, got some trucks waiting. And this is where the fish factory is. So they can drive over there. And I already had these 3 to begin with. So that's going to help out a little bit. Creates a few more jobs. What I want to do today, though, is go over to Hydra Island, which is over here. This is where we have our sewer and our water and our power and stuff on this rocky outpost. This section right here came with the map from the map maker that we got the map from. And my original plan was to go ahead and maybe put some housing down here. I still like that idea. But what I want to do is I think I want to put my zoo over here. It's a nice location for a zoo. I've got the ferry boats already going over here. They're always empty because there's nothing else to do over here. I think having the zoo over here would be kind of nice, maybe in this general area right here, away from the sewer and everything. But a nice little area over here and room for the water, the sea whales or whatever that is. And then maybe put housing down here as well. So that's what I'm going to do today. So let's see. We have this little road I put in, this little 2-lane road, which is probably not going to be big enough. But so I think what we're going to do first of all is let's go ahead and make this road a bigger road. Put in a nice one up here. Up to a certain extent. Then when we get to the utilitarian part of it, then we'll just go back to just the 2-lane road where you don't need any cars. All right, so maybe right near here. I think this would be a good place to put our zoo right here. All righty. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and get the basic outline here for a zoo. And is that going to be park? think it's park, or is it just regular zone? I think it's park. Actually, instead of doing it, oh, I've done this, I've made this mistake before. What I'm going to do is go in here, and if you put down the primary, the main gate, that will automatically give you the little zoo zone that you can then expand. So let me go ahead. Before I'm going to put a little road over here. Let's see. Let's do a one-way road here. Okay. Now what we'll do is we'll go ahead and get our streets fixed up. Make those guys wait. I'm just using of course, the traffic manager for this. And these guys continue to go through. And continue to go through. Let's give these guys turn lanes. All right. Now, I think I'm going to, what I could do is level everything right now, but I'm not sure I want to get this thing level if I want to keep it kind of rocky. So I'm going to leave it alone for right now. This road could use some leveling a little bit. Let's see about this. Let's see about this. These are move it mod. Yeah, that looks a little bit better. Okay, now. Right smack dab in the middle. There, see? You put that little glob right there. Oops. So then we can just expand this. Sunnyside Wildlife Park. We'll rename that, of course. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and, let's see. Let's go ahead and make a big... We'll just lay out a gigantic thing for right now. Worry about the actual shape of it later. And what I'm going to do is start to lay out the basic form of the zoo. We've done zoos before, so I'm not going to spend a huge amount of time on this. Mainly just kind of see what we have available, what we want to do. I want to put in as many of the attractions as possible. And and lay them out in a kind of a pleasing way and see what we come up with. We got lots of land here. I'm not really worried about size of any way at all. We got plenty of room to work with. What we don't use here, we'll go ahead and put some little neighborhood. I think a little surfing community down here on the beach with some small houses and small little shops where they can go surfing and stuff like that will be called for that area. And we'll have like a nice. We already got our ferry boat that's been operating at a huge loss for the entire game. We'll actually start to make some money from our ferry, or at least get some traffic on our ferries. So I'm going to put this on hold while I start to lay this out, and I will be back in just a minute. Okay, I have laid out just a basic path. Here's the main gate. I put in a bathroom and a souvenir shop right up front. I have a nice little squared thing off with a couple of main little centers. What do they call this thing? This is the plaza. I put a little restaurant over here in the back with some tables to sit at. What I'm thinking, we only have 12 attractions here in the zoo. I love doing the zoo. I like the amusement parks too, which I'm not going to do on this one. I like the zoo a lot, but I wish we had more than just the 12. The 12 attractions. They're nice, but it'd be nice to have a little bit wider variety. As I'm looking at things, we have 3 attractions that are kind of, I guess, maybe North American type attractions. We have the moose reindeer enclosure, we have the antelopes, and we have the bison. Then we have, from Africa, we have the elephants, we have the giraffes, the monkeys, the rhinos, and the lions. And then for the in between, the other stuff, we have the bird house, the flamingos, the insect reptile house, and finally the sea life. So what I'm thinking is, I like to have like three little centers. Um, I plan on buying that Planet Zoo game. I've seen some people play it, and they're really good at it. So I feel kind of intimidated by it. But you can do all sorts of really cool stuff with it. So I'd like to do kind of maybe three worlds here, little three separate sections. So maybe on this side I'll have the three North American things. Going at the middle towards the sea life back here, I'll have the sea life stuff, and the birds and the reptiles and everything. And then over on this side I'll have the African thing because we have more space over here. That's what I'm thinking anyway. I think maybe just kind of go up this way and kind of spread them out a little bit. Have some windy paths to make it a little very pleasant and stuff like that. We got plenty of room. I could pack it all in, but why? So I'm going to go ahead and lay out some paths. Maybe I'll put something over this way and kind of windy roads and stuff, and make a nice little walking park for everybody. So let me start working on this, and I will be right back. Okay, I've got the first few buildings laid out. I put in the three North American buildings over here, the antelopes and the bison and the moose and reindeer. And I think what I'm going to do is, I've seen this done in some zoos and other places. Since these are more North American, I'm replacing all of these palm trees. This area, and the road's going to connect back to meet up with this other stuff. I've got the reptile house here for the other string. I'm going to put like North American trees over here, maybe a bunch of oak trees and maple trees and stuff like that, so you feel like you're in North America when you walk through this path. You can go in here and you'll see a bunch of clumps of North American type trees around here, and maybe some other things like that, maybe some food trucks and stuff. On the African side, I'll have maybe these palm trees, maybe some other type of African type trees over on here for the elephants and everything. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do with the middle section here, but I think I'm going to go for three different feels and looks and things like that for these areas. I just kind of came up with that as I was doing it. I think that's kind of a neat idea. So I'm going to go with this, and so I'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, I just kind of shrunk up the zoo a little bit. It did go all the way over here and all the way over here, and I didn't need that much space. So let's take a look at what we've got. I got everything laid out, at least, all the buildings. Got all 12 attractions. So over here we have our three North American items, the antelopes and the reindeer, moose, and the bison. And then right up the middle, we have our snakes and reptiles and insects, and we have our flamingos, and we have our birds, and then we have the sea life. And over here on our African side, we've got the monkey house, we got our giraffes, and we got our rhinos and our lions, and finally our elephants. So it's all kind of had nice some meandering little streets and roads and everything for everyone to walk through. I'm going to put in some more stuff. I'm going to detail some trees like I had mentioned. Maybe just keep palm trees. I'm not sure about that yet. And clean it up. Put in some more bathrooms down here, and probably some food courts and stuff like that too. I mean, some food trucks or something like that. So let me play around with it a little bit more, and give a new name for it too. I like the way this turned out. I like the way it all kind of comes back together, and you can kind of meander through here and stuff. It looks pretty good. And this isn't way off the beaten path from everything else. A lot of times the sea life thing is a long way away from everything else. I had to get rid of these cliffs to get this thing to work, but overall it's not too bad. So let me work on this a little bit more, and I'll be right back. Okay, this is looking pretty good. On this side, I went ahead and got my live oak trees. I put a bunch of live oaks. I mean, a lot of them. I also have some redwood trees and some sugar maples for the North American side. It came in really thick. I really like that look a lot. The middle section with all the birds and the insects and stuff, I went with bamboo trees, clumps of bamboos, as well as individual bamboo trees to kind of go along with that look. And then on the African side, I went with a bunch of different types of banana trees and coconut trees, and I had the palm trees already there, and different level plants, and kind of made it really nice and thick. And then when it goes down to the sea view, the little sea life thing, I put in a little nice row of these palm trees. So I think it came out looking really nice. It's pretty cool. what I'm going to do now is I'm going to hook up the power to the thing and turn on the, pause it and see what happens with our ferry boats and see if we start getting a lot of population here. I've got plenty of room now to put in little tiny suburbs and beach community and that kind of stuff over here. I could do an amusement park. I'm kind of tired of doing amusement parks in the game, so I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to put this on hold, hook up the power, and we will see how this goes. I am really happy with the look, though. I like this a lot so far. Let's see what happens. Okay, we are back. I've been working on my map for a while. We have hit 2 stars on our zoo. 513 people. It's been a long time. It's been several days. In fact, since the last time we were here, I added all of this. In my last episode, I was going to do a small little beachfront community over here. I figured a few streets. It's a lot more land over here than I thought. I've got a big city over here. Hydra Island. I got 3,500 people living over here right now. Primarily, it's all the smaller little houses, the 2x2s and 2x3s. What I did was I took this little road that we had that went from our ferry boat up to the zoo and just kind of wrapped it around along the beach here, all the way around and back up, and like in a little loop. And then I just did some beachfront communities, primarily housing. Right here, this little section right here where the beach comes to a peak, I've got some all sorts of stuff. Let me see here. I've got my commercial. I've got some offices. I even have some low-density industry in here because I thought, well, this will be a good place for some dock stuff and everything. And so I got some of that. It's kind of dirty, but looks nice. Everything else is pretty much residential. Put in a couple of parks. This one's already 3 stars. And a big park over here, which is fairly new. I did the beach like I've been doing on our other maps all the way around. That's pretty nice. It's 2 stars right now. Making terrible money on here. $24. What the heck? It's terrible. I'm not sure why. I've got a little bit of everything in here. I've got my high school. I've got a couple of elementary schools, medical center, all that kind of stuff. My industries were showing the little thing, we do not have any raw materials, so I added yet another cargo dock. This is my 3rd one on this particular map. I did this really quick. I just plopped this down here, put a road around here, did my surface painter, and put in some of my basic props around here. I did go ahead and put in another bus depot for my buses, and I got some heavy-duty industry and an office over here just for flavor. Go ahead and continue that. Looks pretty good. Got enough jobs over here. I did another little shopping center over here. Like the one we did on our other thing. I have another Blockbuster video, of course, because that is the best. There it is. And yeah, so that's it. It's right next to my zoo. One thing, which I think is pretty interesting, and it makes a lot of sense. Whenever you build any part of your city that's a long way away from everything else, which this is a long way off. I mean, look at this. The ferry goes from here all the way down to here. It's going to take a lot longer to get people to live here. So I was building houses in this neighborhood, and they were coming along, but the houses were empty for a while. So, because people have to come from, migrate over here. Also, the zoo is not very well known to the people over here. So it takes a little while. I had just the 2 ferries going back and forth, had 0 people each time. Then it had, 6 to 12. Now I have, I think, 4 ferries going back and forth. Let's see what their thing looks like. Yeah, we're getting a decent number of 29 people, 39, 42, and 30. So we're getting some decent number of people using our ferry boats. Very nice. And it's a nice little community. I can go ahead and finish this up. I was not planning on... Again, I underestimated the size of this thing. I thought, well, I'll have a main road and then maybe a second, maybe a 3rd road and maybe a couple houses up here. That's it. Heck, I've got massive numbers of neighborhoods in here. So I always misestimate that. I got some nice houses over here. Backs up to the zoo. I did put in a fence around the zoo, a nice little oval here. So that's going to do it for this episode. Again, the zoo needs some expansion, I think. Just like probably the amusement park does too, because once you lay out all the stuff, you know, you can. I used to do a big rectangle. Now we've got windy roads. Okay, so I think we could use some more additions to the zoo and amusement park and things like that. But anyway, that's just me. So until next time, this is Greg 29407 saying aloha, and we will see you next time.